welcome back to allofrine. My name is Catherine Adewale, and allofrine is all about empowering women, telling our stories, and changing lives. Today, I have a very important guest with me. Her name is?
It's Angela Carty. I am a broker with Remax West under the, I'm actually Carty Real Estate under the Remax West Expert umbrella. I've been in the industry for about 20 odd years. Love the industry. I work alongside my daughter, who's also my colleague with Carty Real Estate. And yeah, my aim is just to help everyone and just drive everyone to own real estate.
That's right. And which is why I invited you here, because we have a lot of women out there asking a lot of questions. When I met you, I came into the industry to, just grow myself as a person, and I wanted to just, do something for myself as a real estate agent. And I met you, and we've been friends since then, and you've been so motivational and been a very big part. You've played a very big part in my life. So thank you so much.
I appreciate that.
And today I wanted you to come in here and answer some of the questions, or one particular question that I find that most women out there ask me. And I wanted you to be a part of it, just to give them your own expertise, advice on exactly advice on the questions that I've been asked all the time. Can you buy a home without my spouse's knowledge?
So let me say this, important, always see a solicitor, your lawyer, to get more of a clarification. But in being in the industry over time, I've learned that these are legitimate questions that people ask. And so absolutely, anyone can buy a property without their spouse's consent, but it's illegal.
It's illegal.
So this is the thing. It's once a property is purchased, it is a home. If you're married, even though your spouse might not be untitled, as long as they're your husband or your wife, the property belongs to both of you. Ideally, in a matrimonial home, it's really puzzling when people ask that question, Catherine, because I always ask, why then are you buying? Why are you in a marriage?
That's right.
Because you're not transparent. So how can you have a happy household if you're not transparent? So certainly you can. In my opinion, and in observation and going through the business, definitely it is not legal, right?
Yes.
One can buy a home. So, for example, I'm going to draw a reference. Catherine, you can purchase a home in your name. Mm-hmm. Your husband might not qualify based on financial history.
Exactly.
Then, on that angle, certainly it's in your name, but the property belongs to both of you. And so if you decide to sell the home, you need to have his spousal consent, right? So you couldn't just sell the home without him.
That's right.
So for those, I often say, that to me is a question. You ask me that question, it's like, you're not supposed to be in a marriage if you're trying to hide things from your partner.
That's right. Shouldn't hide things. I think when it comes to marriage and purchasing a home, you both own that property, right? And it's a good thing. It's a good thing for both of you eventually.
It's a great thing.
So it's a great thing. It's a beautiful thing. And we preach wealth all the time.
Of course.
And coming into a marriage in the first place means that we both, whatever I own, you own, right?
Absolutely.
So why is it that people are thinking differently? Do you think there's something else that they're looking at? Or
I think it boils down to greed. Right? So we're trying to encourage people to build wealth, right? That's a part of our life outside of our faith and building our relationship with God. We have to have a financial and some kind. And so when we build that, that's what we're trying to do. So when I hear people ask these questions, like I said, it seems to me that it's coming from a greed and a selfish aspect of life, or an unhappy household.
That's true,
right?
Unhappy, no trust.
Yes,
lack of trust.
Yes,
because because I'm just trying to think in my head, why would somebody want to buy a home without the spouse's consent or knowledge rather? Eventually, can you help me, because I need this definition, because I know as a real estate agent, I know the answer to those things, but can you just help me? Because there's some women who struggle with the fact that, you know, my husband, I bought this home before I married my husband. He's here now. When we got married, he wasn't here when I bought the home. I paid the money, paid the mortgage, and now he's in my home. And I don't want to get him on the title because it's not his home. And boom, divorce comes in, and she's surprised because they're saying, whatever you have right now, it's going to be split into a half, right? Like something like that.
So again, disclaimer, contact your lawyer.
Exactly.
But because we're in communicating with regards to this, I would say to you, listen, if you get married, your husband walks through the door, he is now your husband. He's your 50-50 partner. And so he is entitled to half of your equity or your property, or whatever you have. So if, for example, your mother had bought this home for you, or your father had left it behind as a gift, then it's no longer where you split the proceeds, because that was your home. But as long as he's in this home with you, you bought the house, you got married, it becomes his. Unless you have some, what they call that document that you can now sign to say.
Yeah, you're right. Prenuptial.
Right?
Prenuptial.
So if you have a prenuptial, then those are things that are put in. But again, in my history of things, sometimes a prenup doesn't even stand ground in court. So it's all a thing. But again, like I said, if you're getting married and you're getting married for the right reasons, finances should not be the thing that sets you apart.
That's a good one. It shouldn't be the first thing that will set you apart, and you shouldn't be thinking in that light anyways. And you're married. Why think about something worse? What if? The unknown. Marriage is a risk anyways. It's a risk. For me, I look at it like one of the videos I did, if you have the time, go see it, why you should treat your marriage as a business, because everything in life truly, for me, it's a business, right? Because that's my own definition. I feel that if you water something, or you have a seed and you plant that seed and you want the seed to grow, you have to water the seed. You have to be dedicated, right? And so if you're dedicated to your marriage, your husband is dedicated to the marriage, why are you afraid? You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter, right? It comes with the package,
it's a natural,
okay?
It's a natural, it's a full package, you know.
Exactly.
Sometimes we find that people don't take the marriage seriously. So you run into a little bit of hiccups and it's like, oh, I'm getting a divorce. You know, I'm totally against that. I'm totally not in agreement. You have to try and work it through. There are grounds for divorce, but every grounds that there is for divorce can be mended.
That's true. That's true. And sometimes too, people ask these questions: can you buy a home without my spouse's knowledge? Because the house that they own or they live in right now is owned by both of them. And you find that this woman now is working, she's probably earning some money, and you know, marriage is shaking, and she wants to own something for herself. Is that possible for her to have something without the husband's consent?
Again,
or knowledge, sorry.
Without the knowledge, of course, you can do anything. But at the end of the day, if it comes down to it and your name is on title, and it comes down to a divorce, that is going to come up. It's going to show the year and date of your purchase. So all that is going to come to the fore anyhow. So it's going to come out, and it's going to come out in the courts if that's the decision. If your husband decides to call it George and walk away and say, you know what, we're just going to sell the one house we have and doesn't do any digging, then maybe we'll fly. But you know,
otherwise, it's like winning the lottery. Right? It's the same thing. You win the lottery, it becomes both of you.
Exactly.
Both of you. And so what advice do you have for people who think this way? Before we come to the advice, I did my research and I did my study, right? Like, I find that some people ask these questions based on experience, something that has happened
to them in
the past.
Right.
Yeah.
So again, if you're in a marriage, that's pretty much the long and short of it. The prenuptial sometimes stand grounds, and I think 9 out of 10 times I'm of the assumption that 9 out of 10 times it does pan out. So you have a prenup, you know, and your relationship doesn't work that well, and it ends. Then you split whatever you agreed upon. Whatever you had this house before you got married, it was on the prenup to say you have no obligation to this property. Then it might fly. But a court might also say, or the husband might say, well, we've been together for 10 years. What the property has grown? What's the growth of the value of the property?
That's
Since I was paying into it, I want a portion of what the growth is. Right?
Yeah.
So it's a dicey situation that I often say, contact your solicitor and ask the solid questions before you make the big decision, before you make that big step.
Yeah. So one of the advice I picked from you would be get a prenup. If you're scared, get a prenup, right? And if you don't want to get a prenup, seek the advice of a legal, of a lawyer, right? And then pray. Pray and be hopeful and be positive.
It's powerful. Prayer is very powerful and very needed and very important in our lives. I mean, for those who do believe that there is a God, it is very important. Keep Him first, and you won't even have that prenup need. You won't have that need to think to get a property without your husband's knowledge or your spouse's knowledge, and you won't need to divide the property because your marriage is going to last forever.
That's right. And then from this part of the world, I mean, we're shooting here from, recording from Canada, there are laws, right? And so, because if you take it back, because some people who ask these questions are people I know from, do I want to use the word back home now? Yes.
Yes.
Because back home is not the same.
Right. And every country kind of have their own rules.
Yes.
So maybe back home, it's okay to do that. But when you get to Canada, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. Right? So from that angle, like I always say, so back home it might be good, but in Canada, there's set rules, there's set guidelines, and we must follow them because they're governmental rules, and we just need to abide by them.
Yeah, so that's the reason why, I'm going to let you talk, that's the reason why people ask these questions, because back home, the man builds a house, if something goes left, he tells you to leave his home, you leave with nothing, absolutely nothing, so it's like that back home. And so when they come here, they feel, oh, it's going to be the same thing, right? So that's why it's good to talk to a realtor, talk to a lawyer. They would advise you on what to do. And always think about getting a prenup, if you're scared, right?
Absolutely.
And also, like you said, you cannot sell a home without the consent of your spouse. And I don't think on the part of the real estate agent who is coming to sell the house will definitely be asking you questions like, is this a matrimonial home?
Absolutely. It's one of the quicker questions. So when we look on our system and we can see that, Catherine's Untitled. But when we walk in the home, we see that it's a household, a family setting.
That's correct.
And so the first question you ask, are you married?
Yes.
Hopefully you're transparent and honest.
Yeah.
I mean, when it comes down to it, when we ask the solid questions as realtors, you can lie, and we have no other proof to say there's a man living in this home or you have a husband wherever. So we only go by, we trust that you're being honest. With that said, in the interim, we try to have paper trail to say, send you an email or send you something. So just want to confirm that there's no husband involved, so on and so forth. So at least we have paper proof.
That's correct.
As our backup. And then, but if you tell us a lie and we move forward, and then a husband comes out of the woodworks, and then
because it has happened several times.
Exactly, it happens. I'm sure it's happened to many realtors, and some of us don't have the proof that we did ask.
That's right. You're watching allofrine, and if you're just tuning in, the title is "Can You Buy a Home Without Your Spouse's Knowledge?" And the answer to that is no. okay? It will be advisable to let your spouse know about it, because there are some consequences that comes with that. On this channel, we talk about real life situations, and we hope to change lives with that, because there's so many things happening out there and you're asking a lot of questions, and we're here to answer those questions. These things have happened. This particular situation I'm about to talk about happened to somebody that I know, and I know she has given me the consent to talk about it. She was married, she was going through separation and then divorce. The husband took everything, and I advise her, please always stay in the house, because at this point you can't be leaving your house, because he wanted to sell the house without her consent. So he could have lied to the realtor, and the realtor came in, he came in with the husband, and they saw her in there, and the realtor was like, but you said to me, so who is this person?
Right.
He went to court and he said to the judge that she was a tenant. Ooh. And there was no finished basement in the house. So a tenant, and the judge was like, she cooking, using upstairs and everything. Yes, and the lady was claiming that we were married. So she had to bring all of those documents, because they never had a traditional marriage here. So traditional marriage in the sense that there was no court marriage or anything here. It was more of a traditional marriage back home. So she had to provide those proof. Okay. So it was, and they did that in absentia, which was very, very, a bit dicey.
Very, very. That's
Can you imagine what would have happened to her
if she had no proof and she had no support, or if she was out of the home when the realtor arrived?
That's right. And now he shot himself in the foot, because he said, she's my tenant. She was living in the basement. They had to come to the house. There was nothing in the basement. It was not a finished basement. And so there was no kitchen, no separate stove,
no separate entrance.
No separate entrance. So be careful, be wise, ask.
Yeah.
Realtors are your friends.
That's something that I preach, is if you don't ask, you cannot get the answer.
That's correct.
No question is a stupid question.
No.
Just ask the question.
You have to ask the questions. I know there's so many women sitting there right now going through the same thing, thinking in their heads, I'm about to lose my home. My husband is going to throw me out of this. Ask questions, right? Which is why we're doing what we're doing. And trust your real estate agent, because they can advise you on what to do, but at the same time, they will definitely be telling you to go seek legal advice. We always ask our clients to seek,
because we're not lawyers, and we want to make sure that you're safeguarded. We can guide you, but we can't. We can only guide you so far, and we always suggest that you seek legal advice.
I have the young woman back there, Crystal, and I know you've been waiting to ask your question. So go ahead, ask your question.
So, is it possible to buy a home in your child's name?
You can, right? So in your child, the child has to be of age, and the child has to qualify for a mortgage in order to purchase the home in their child's name.
So that question has been answered. So you need the child, what age?
18, it's got adult
18.
child. Yeah.
So 18.
Well, again, it could be that you do the prenup, right? And so you to safeguard your child by, that child is not for your husband. So you safeguard a will, safeguards a child. But in the case of a divorce, and I trust that you won't get married to a man that's going to want to divorce you, or you're going to want a divorce. But from that angle, when things do happen, and we do have, it's a high divorce rate here in Canada, but because people are not fighting for relationships anymore.
That's correct.
But again, you just want to safeguard yourself by putting things in place. Again, consulting a lawyer prior to making that decision.
You said something about relationship, very important. The show is about building relationship, family relationship, friendship, and all of that. Any type of relationship anyways. Building that trust, building relationship, communicating, trusting each other, having that healthy moment with the person that you feel you want to spend the rest of your life with, or even your friend, your sisters, your brothers, your your family members. Relationship is very important.
Yeah.
And I find that most people don't spend time to build that relationship with the people that they're very close to.
Exactly. Over time, like now you find that relationships are just like, somebody says, like I have my best friend, we've been in relationship, we've been friends for 44 years.
Yeah, wow.
Consistently,
Yeah.
right? But some people just get into relationships that are temporary.
Yeah.
We're not emotions are no longer attached to it. Sometimes, in Jamaica, they are called things friends.
Yeah, things friends.
Right? So it's about that thing that you can offer up.
Friend.
It's a things friend. So it's we don't want that.
Yes.
You want to have solid relationships that show love
That
and
show
unity
love,
and just
respect.
Respect.
Trust.
Yeah, those are things that are really
very
valuable.
important. Very, very important. Thank you so much. You have a question? Because I saw you raising your hand.
Yeah, I do.
Speak up so we can get your voice.
If I have a bad credit, can I buy a house?
No. So people always ask that. If I have bad credit, what happens is that with that bad credit, no, you're not going to get, the banks or a lender is not going to give you a mortgage. What we do as realtors and our colleagues in the mortgage environment, we nurture you and we walk you through how to repair that, how to get to a place to get into the purchasing possibilities.
That's, go ahead. You have
What would, say I have bad credit, what would be some of the steps you would advise someone to take?
So the first step is to contact the people that are the creditors or your collection agencies and see how you can negotiate potentially doing a lesser amount. So you can get that release letter to say, okay, you know what? It was $500. We're willing to take $250, and they send you a letter to say you've been released. They also send that to the credit bureau or Equifax or TransUnion, and that's shown that you're paid up in full. It takes a little while to rebuild. You take your time and rebuild, but negotiating, reaching out to those lenders that you're defaulted on payments or that you owe, and negotiate with them. And then one of the main things that you do with them is always ask for a release letter.
A release letter, very important.
One more question. Okay, we're married. I have a spouse. He has bad credit, and I decided at my price little bit, I can go ahead and buy a matrimony home. Does he still have say, but if I want to sell it? Or?
Absolutely, you have to get his spousal consent. Even though the mortgage is in your name, you're the mortgage owner or you're the mortgage holder. He is your spouse. So you have to get that matrimonial, and on our purchase and sale agreement or on our listing agreement, you'll see at the last page or one of the pages, you'll see that you have to get spousal consent.
Sorry, let me ask a question. Okay, we're both friends. Can we buy a house together?
Absolutely. So if you decide to buy a home together, one of the things that I always suggest is at the lawyer's office, and this is done at the lawyer's office, where you decide, is it 50-50 or it's all her money going as a deposit, and so you're only on it because to qualify for mortgage, and you do 1% to one of the individuals, or whatever. However you want to split the portions. Say you had 10,000 and you only had 5, then you divide that and you say, okay, you're qualifying for 10% and you qualify for 5%. Or sorry, you qualify for 90% and you qualify for 10% of the equity in the property.
Thank you so much, Angela. You've answered all the questions that we have for you today, and I'm sure our viewers will agree with us that Angela has really answered the questions to the best of her ability, and we hope that you are able to get everything that she has said. Now, if you want to reach out to Angela, you want to call her or something, or you need her information. We'll be leaving everything in the description box below, so just go there and see on how you can actually contact Angela. Once again, Angela is from Remax West.
Experts. And I thank you so much, Catherine,
You're
for
welcome.
having me. I hope I did you justice.
Oh,
and I
you
hope
did.
I answered all your audience
Yes,
questions.
we have more. We're bringing you back here.
and again, let me say, please reach out to your solicitor if you're deciding to make this move before just going off what Catherine and I have advised you as best as we can.
That's true.
But reach out to your lawyer, get some professional advice.
Very important. That's a very, very strong
We sell
advice.
real estate, we're not lawyers.
we tell you that all the time. We sell real estate. We are not lawyers. We're realtors.
Yeah, we're
and
not mortgage agents.
We're not mortgage agents. And so you need any questions that you have as regards mortgage, go to a mortgage agent. They'll be the best person to talk to, okay? And when you want to buy your home, you can reach out to Angela or reach out to me because we're realtors, okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And you know, the topic today again is, can you buy a home without your spouse's knowledge? And we've given you all the reasons why you shouldn't do that and advice on what you should do. So go back, watch the video again, and then, you know, make a decision, do what you have to do. But like she said, pray, get the best advice, and we're here. We're always here. Send us an email if you have other things that you want to ask and you can't reach us, you know, via text message or whatever. Just send us an email and we'll definitely be reading and responding back to you, okay? So thank you so much for viewing, for watching, and if you like what you've just heard, please do not hesitate to like, share this video, subscribe, and then hit the notification button so you get notified each time we upload a new video, okay? Until next time, keep adjusting your crown. Thank you so much. Bye.